How to be delusional. Is it possible to be delusional in a way that actually benefits you? Doesn't delusional mean being trapped in a fantasy? Didn't I just put out a video about not being obsessed by fantasy? But now you're saying how to be delusional? If you're interested in this topic, keep watching.
Try this angle. Hello, my lovely peaches. The lighting over there is bad, so I thought maybe I could try to sit over here. Deep breath. It's Sunday, October 15th, 2023. What time is it? Let me see. Try to pull the clock out. It's 6:11 p.m. So I've been crying a lot on and on today because my son's grandfather, my baby's daddy's dad, his memorial was today. I wasn't there in person, but they did have a live stream. And it was so touching and so moving and so heartbreaking and sad and also very uplifting and powerful. And I met their grandpa. Well, he went by Pops. I met him when I was in high school, when I was 16 years old in 1990. And he was my boss at one point. He was not my father-in-law, but he was my boyfriend's father for 8 years. And he's my kids' grandpa. And now both of their grandpas are in heaven. So my face kind of hurts because last night I started to watch season 5 of Virgin River, and it's like every single episode is just like ultra sad. So I was like crying. I was already crying a lot last night. And then this morning, this afternoon, I got on the live stream and it was just, oh my God, it's like so sad. So I had intended to make a video this morning about being delusional. And as you heard from the little clip that I popped into the beginning, that was the thought that I wrote to myself and then just recorded that audio voice. And I wanted to talk about that, but I really just genuinely wanted to make, for real, a quick video, not where I say quick video and then it turns into an hour. A quick video to just say, I'm going to make a longer video about this topic. I am going to probably end up making an 1.5 hour long stream talking about, I'm not going to stream it. I'm going to film it and then I'm going to post it, and it'll probably be for Patreon. And if you're interested in this topic, this is going to be the preview of what I'm going to talk about, which is there any purpose to being delusional? Is it always bad to be delusional? Should you always face reality? What even is reality? And so I talk a lot about manifesting your dreams, manifesting the right specific person. So I don't believe that you can manifest any specific person regardless of circumstances. And I don't believe that circumstances don't matter. I believe circumstances do matter. However, I do also believe that we can manifest the right specific person for us, and that our circumstances, while they matter, they don't limit us to be condemned to a place where we can never graduate past or grow past, up level, learn, to evolve from. I do believe very much in our ability to evolve and grow and bloom. I believe deeply in the power of our own imagination, and I do believe deeply that everything that we think about, everything that we think we want, everything that we spend our time thinking about, wanting, our goals, our desires, the things that we allow to loop through our minds, the creative projects that we're working on or not, our permission that we give ourselves and the space that we create in our own life to daydream, to fantasize, to have dreams that are creative and maybe seem out of reach, and maybe they seem even almost impossible, but they're not impossible. So when I say I do believe circumstances matter, well, I think it's important to be honest about where you really are. So if you have lived your life a certain way for an extremely long time, can you change? Yes. Is it going to take work? Yes. Will it take some time? Yes. Nothing is instantaneous. People who try to preach a message that says you can change overnight, I don't really see the value in that, because for most people that's not going to work. So I personally think it's better to give people practical ways to be delusional. All right, just had to answer some texts from baby's daddy about when they'll be back. So our imagination is truly powerful. It is truly, in my opinion, your resource for your own best motivation to uplevel yourself. It's your own springboard to launch to another level. It's your own window into your own dream world, where you can imagine another path for your life that would be better and happier and more fulfilling and more prolific and more abundant for you, if that's what you desire. So I definitely believe in the power of imagination. I do believe in the benefit at some level of being able to feel into the feeling of the wish fulfilled idea. But like I spoke about in yesterday's video, there are some people like me who have a coping mechanism of being obsessed with the limerence, the wonderful feeling of being in the feeling of the wish fulfilled of a fantasy. So it can actually be delusional to a point where it's harming you, where you're allowing your fantasy world to be more important than what you're actually living, manifesting, and creating. So that's not helpful, in my opinion. I'll look a little shift and you can see my chili pepper lights. It's getting quite dark. So I really do truly, genuinely want to make this pretty quick. So I just want to say a couple things so that I can compile the video and just post it and genuinely learn how to be less long-winded so I can do what I committed to. So here's a perfect example where I have a vision of myself making videos multiple times a week. I'm not ready to set a schedule because I have other clients, and at the moment I have to arrange my calendar a certain way. But I have imagined in my life, I've imagined in my imagination, I can picture in the fantasy, in my delusional world of my best of my best of my best, my best life, I can picture a lifestyle where my clients are really amazing, and that the work that I'm doing for them is really aligned with what is the best of the best that I can give. And yes, I am very organized and very good at research and very good with a lot of the virtual consultations that I do. I feel that I'm really good, I'm excellent at a lot of the things that I do. However, I see another vision of myself where I can imagine a lifestyle that's quite different than this. There will be some similarities. There are seeds of what will become the trees, the forest of my life, manifested as an evolved, bloomed, fruitful garden. And I'm going to get there by the power of allowing myself to daydream, allowing myself to fantasize, allowing myself to imagine a different circumstance, a different home, a different vehicle situation, different relationship to myself relating to myself, a different, better, more loving, better listening, better communicative relationship with my children. I want to build these skills for myself between me and myself and me and my children with themselves, and how my children relate to their father, to their other family members, to their friends, and the world at large. And I truly, genuinely believe that if you don't allow yourself to get creative with your imagination and your daydreams, you're going to stay in a very small life. And maybe like my ex-fiance, that very small life is perfect for you. You're very happy there. You're safe and you love it. And that's perfectly acceptable. However, if like me and many others, you are interested in learning how to genuinely transform your life, to quantum leap into another existence, but, just being delulu and ignoring all reality is not working for you, I know a lot of reasons why I think that that's the case, because you have to have, in my opinion, you need to have inspired action that backs up your fantasies. And, it's not as sexy to say you got to action plan out your fantasy. You've got to business plan it out. You've got to make actionable steps that you break down into chunks that are doable. And sometimes it's going to take years before you actually achieve the thing that you're desiring. But if you look at your imagination as a real tool and not just some kind of Pollyanna magical thinking, wave your magic wand, have a couple dreams, snap, get into the dopamine of the feeling of being high because you can imagine your fantasy being true. And then, you're supposed to magically wake up and then, and then it's there. I don't personally find that to be useful way to actually find a way to figure it out. So if you want to learn how to be delusional in a practical way, if you want to take your fantasies to the mat, let's wrestle with those fantasies and turn it into something real. Turn your fantasy into a curriculum for your growth instead of into a delusion that just keeps you self-heartbreaking because you keep thinking about some extremely impossible delusion, and then you're not taking the action steps that you need to. You're not breaking it down into actionable steps. You're waiting for the magic to drop out of the sky. And I just think that there's a lot of other ways to utilize the power of your fantasies and your imagination and your dreams. And if you're interested in this topic, then join me on Patreon and I will be talking about it. There's a lot of other videos on there as well. And I hope this was helpful or at least entertaining. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.
How to be delusional. Is it possible to be delusional in a way that actually benefits you? Doesn't delusional mean being trapped in a fantasy? Didn't I just put out a video about not being obsessed by fantasy? But now you're saying how to be delusional? If you're interested in this topic, keep watching.